What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another Oxygen Not Included Max Difficulty episode. Oh man, it's been a while since I recorded, honestly. The last I think two or three videos I pre-recorded because I had some family coming into town and I wasn't sure if I would have time to create any videos. And alas, I didn't. And I'm making this on the day of upload, so it's going to be a little bit late. And as you can see, the cycles, I'm not quite at 100 cycles, which is what I usually upgrade or upload at, but we need to get something up, so we'll just record it a little bit early and it'll be fine. So, the base. Well, I can tell you I've had some problems with my sleet wheat here, and you might have noticed it's changed a little bit. We get these insulated tiles separating the sleet wheat and the bristle blossoms because the bristle blossoms were actually too cold. They were getting too cold, so they wouldn't grow. So I put these insulated tiles here to kind of separate off these rooms from these, and the heat generated from the light should keep these warm enough. Because the water that I'm pumping in here is 3 degrees. I think I have it just under 3 set at my aqua tuner. So at 2.9 it'll start heading up there, but it's going to warm up a little bit, running through all the warm tiles down in this area. So yeah, the water's coming in really cold, so the lights hopefully will combat that, and they have been so far. So it's been working out pretty nicely. And let me not forget to set a timer like I always do. But yeah, you can see these sleet wheat right here are not quite cold enough, and that's because I shut this wheezewort down. Well, I uprooted this wheezewort for a while when these were getting too cold. So I've since stuck it back in, and we're just kind of waiting for the air to cool down around here. You can see it's around 8 degrees in some spots. So not quite what we want, but it'll eventually get cold enough, so we don't really have to worry about that. So still having some struggles with there, and a big problem with why all this is happening in the first place is because the dirt's just coming in too hot, and I do have it getting cooled down through here, but again, that's just generating heat in this room, which I don't really want to do. So if I could cool my dirt before, you can see it's at like 70 degrees, even hotter in some areas. If I could cool it down before actually getting to this room, that would be great. And I am trying over here. The biggest problem is that the regolith in here, there's just so much of it that it's not losing temperature very quickly. So I've added a second wheezewort, and I'm about to add a third wheezewort just to kind of cool this area down over time. Another thing I've added is this filter here, the sieve. So the water coming from my polluted water, my toilets and all this is actually now getting sieved out because my dirt supply is going down. This used to be at like 90 tons at one point, and we're down to 66. So I'm not producing enough dirt. And I think one of the best ways is simply just to sieve your polluted water. That gives you the most mass of dirt. Cooking it actually gives you less than that. So I was originally thinking of building a cooker, but after doing some research, found out that it gives you less mass than just sieving it, and it's more work. So why would I do that, right? Unless I actually needed the steam for something, which I don't currently. So we've got a sieve here, and we've got sand coming up from here, which I didn't really think about at first, but I didn't need to run this track producing sand because we've got all this regolith. So we could have just used the regolith, but too late now, it's already done. And then the polluted dirt from here gets pumped over to here, which then gets moved to this chest, and then the duplicants have easy access to it with the composter right there. But you can see if you look at the dirt here, it's coming out at around 50 degrees, and then as it goes through these tiles, it gets hotter. And that's just because of all this regolith in here. It's just heating up the tiles, heating up the air. So it's a big problem that is really not something easily... It's not easy to fix that. I guess I could just like move all the regolith, which would take years, honestly. I mean, I could just set up a sweeper. I have been putting regolith in here manually with dupes, and then just like emptying it out once it gets full. But there's if we look here, how much regolith do I have here? 20 tons of regolith. My God, there's just so much of it. I need to add shovels into this map, I think, and do that. We have added a few more wheeze warts to the natural gas area or my generator area because it is warming up a little bit, so I don't have quite enough cooling there. And I think a big problem with this is just that when my volcano goes dormant, when my natural gas geyser goes dormant, these stop running and stop cooling the other stuff down here down. So once these start running, they're generating heat that's not really getting combated too much. But that's kind of next on the agenda, is creating a natural gas system where I can convert oil into natural gas, because this is a problem. I'm just running out of natural gas. So if I had a system that just could create endless amounts of natural gas, that wouldn't be an issue. And all this stuff would probably never run, to be honest. We would probably never need to use the petroleum or the coal. And we could set up a second row of natural gas and just have all the power we would ever need. We're also looking to get solar set up sometime in the future. Not really anytime soon, but so that's going to augment our power even more. Another thing I've done over here on my oxygen generation thing is we've actually lowered the required temperature for this down to -45. You can see it's pretty dang cold in here. If we look at the temperature overlay, you can see it's really hot here and then really cold here. So it's like almost, I don't know how these pumps actually pull things in, but I'm hoping that it kind of pulls in both gases and it gets mixed. You can see it's coming in at about 15 degrees, so it seems like it is doing that. Seems like it's pulling some from the bottom and some from the top, or maybe just like right in the middle is where it's pulling it from. I'm not sure. But by the time it gets up here, this actually shouldn't be an issue anymore, because what I've done is I've walled this off and added a transit tube with a little wonky loop here because I put it too close. But you can see there's very small amounts of gas in here. And that's because I have these doors open. So it's just venting into space right now. Hopefully eventually it just becomes a vacuum and we get no temperature transfer over here at all, because we do have some hot pipes running through, which we don't necessarily want. But yeah, that is that. And we've added a second row of gas reservoirs here for hydrogen. I figured, you know what, I'm going to want a lot more hydrogen than this, and I'll probably add a third row eventually, because we're going to be making liquid hydrogen as soon as we get access to supercoolant. So hopefully that's within the next 200 cycles or so. I don't know. Probably not. I have no idea how far you have to go in space to get supercoolant. So another thing I want to do down here is set up a feedback. So if the pipe's backed up to here, we can pump out the polluted water to a sieve to get more dirt, or set up a second pump. If the water level raises to a certain level, then we'll pump out the polluted water to get sieved, because, well, I need more dirt. That's another issue that I'm working on. So dirt and natural gas are kind of two priorities right now. Dirt being the primary focus, I think. How much food do I actually have? I actually had to jump into my barbecue because when my bristle blossoms cooled down too much, they weren't growing. I actually ran out. I couldn't make any berry sludge, so I started eating barbecue and making pepper bread with the sweet wheat grains instead. And let's look at my morale. You can see my morale is pretty dang good right now. Everybody's close to 40, except for Ellie. And yeah, everybody is at least a plus 16 job. Actually, everybody was 20. I think I trained everybody on exosuit engineer. Not everybody. Hold on. Who hasn't been trained? Ellie Hassan, Donhi Catalina. So Joshua and Gossman need this. All right. Gossman. And we'll wait for Joshua to finish on the season miner. Not that he really digs ever, but if he ever does get into an area where he needs to dig out abyssite, I guess he doesn't need that, does he? Yeah, he doesn't even need that. I don't know why I'm doing that. Let's just get him over to the exosuit engineer so he can move quicker in exosuits. I think that's very important. So yeah, my water cooling system is set at below 3 degrees right now. I might tweak this more depending on how cool I need my plants up there, but it seems to be a pretty good temperature. We're more closer to 4 degrees right now, because we were coming out at around 4 last time before I tweaked this, so it's going to take a while for that temperature up there and all those reservoirs to average out. Got our big battery bank over here. I don't know if I'm going to expand this anymore. I think this is plenty of like a nice little surplus. Might need to get bigger as the base grows, but I don't think it's going to grow too much until I start bringing in more dupes, which I do want to do, but I'm a little worried about the food supply, to be honest. It's not very, I mean, it's stable, but it's not perfectly stable, so I'm not fully confident that it won't just crash on me. Got a lot of water and polluted water down here, which I could sieve out. Also some spots of petroleum. I'm not really using this oil too much. We are still using it to produce, what are we using it for? Oh, I've got it plumbed over here. Not that I'm actually using it, because we're not using this petroleum for anything. Any excess petroleum is getting shipped off to our plastic, which we have 30 tons of. So we're going to continue to make it, though, because why not, right? We have plenty of petroleum. We don't have any issues there. We've got this place nice and cooled down. We do have some thermal temperatures shutting off the thermonullifiers if they get to a certain point. What else did I do? I set up a sweeper for, let me see, for this meat. Yeah, sterile atmosphere, because like nobody was ever grabbing the meat out of here. It was just sitting here and rotting, and it happened so many times. So there was carbon dioxide here. I just threw up a fridge with a sweeper. There, we already had power running over here. I just had to upgrade it to the conductive wire. So now we're actually saving the meat instead of just letting it rot, so that's nice. What else? Oh, we've started to dig out areas of the map, as you can see. And after doing all this, I thought maybe I should set up some jetpacks, like to this side, and just only allow them through that area. So I could like set up some jetpacks right here, maybe. And then wall off down at the bottom, because I believe there is a path through. Yeah, so I'd have to like wall off over here. And that way I could just freely dig this area out, right? And I wouldn't have to worry about building ladders or people getting stuck or anything like that. So I might set up some jetpacks down around here somewhere. That way I can just start digging out the entire map, because why not? That'd be fun to dig out the entire map, you know. I've never done it before. I want to do it. I don't know if my computer could handle it though. I think it might crash. And my biggest problem is RAM, really. I only have 8 gigabytes of RAM, so that's the biggest like slow. That's why the game slows down so much, and my RAM's always capped out, especially with like OBS running. It takes a little bit more as well. This base is my first base here is pretty much fully abandoned. I'm using it for a little bit. We do have some toilets here. That way if somebody needs to go and they're down here, they can just pop in. We've got our centrifuge here, although we're not really training anybody yet. I just built it because I knew eventually I would train people. We have kind of wrecked our entire spawn area over here. We did leave the pipes because these exit pipes from the sieve are still being used. This is where the water from the sieve up there comes down and then gets shipped back to our main water supply over there. This farm, I haven't really deconstructed it because I wanted a fallback, but at this point I probably could. I'm not really worried about the farm up there failing completely. If anything, it just stops producing one or the other because it gets either too cold or too hot. So I don't think it's too big of an issue. But yeah, coming up, we're going to be looking to get a lot more dirt production. And what I might do is I might consider looking into more sources of polluted water. Or I might just like look at these little puddles around the map and try and get those filtered into here and then pumped into a sieve to create more dirt. But that's like a temporary thing, right? We want something that can generate more polluted water, which kind of would be just the natural gas system. Like if I could set up an oil to natural gas system and just run purely off natural gas generators. That might generate enough water to give me enough dirt to supply my slate wheat. I haven't done any math on that, but it seems legitimate. It seems like a legitimate thing. I don't think this water is really going up or down though. It's kind of staying at the same level. But then again, if I had these natural gas generators running for all my power needs, it might actually go up. So, because the biggest thing right now is like this is running dormant. My geysers are running dormant, and I'm running out of natural gas, as you can see. Where if I can press the right hotkey, there we go. We're backed up now, but these tanks were completely empty, so my power needs are getting quite hefty, I will say. I could run the hydrogen into some hydrogen generators, but I kind of want to save it. I want to save it for those hydrogen rockets. I think that would be pretty good. Not sure if I mentioned in the last episode, but we did add a third jet dock here. So we now have 3 suits that can run around up in space, do whatever they need to. What are my temps like in here? 46, so it's a little bit hot, but I think eventually this will cool down as well. Just take a really long time. The oxygen is being pumped in at 18 degrees, so that's combating that a little bit. Well, it gets hot while it's sitting in this pipe, but it doesn't get up to 40 degrees. Same in here, around 20 degrees in the pipe. It's slightly colder in here, actually. One thing I noticed is they don't really use the arcades a lot. If we go to our consumables here, no arcade buff. Recently, oh, this guy has recently danced and video games. So Ellie recently danced, played video games. Okay, so Joshua doesn't have any. And you know what I think it is? I think it's because, yeah, it's just his schedule. But then again, he doesn't need it. His morale is sufficient. So I'm not going to worry about it too much. If their morale drops below what they need, then I'll move them down to a higher schedule here so they can, or a schedule with more downtime. That way they have time to play games and whatnot. How much medicine do I have? 31 vitamin chews. Pretty good. Don't need to worry about that. One thing that I haven't mentioned yet is that I'm relatively close. How did that get damaged? I have no idea. I'm relatively close to kind of finishing my bunker ceiling here, my bunker door ceiling here, because we did just have the bunker tiles. So we're building. Oh, we can actually deconstruct a lot of this. I don't want to go too far. Go like that. So we're just trying to get our full bunker door set up here. Oh, I'm actually out. Okay. Until that gets deconstructed, we're going to be quite low on steel, and I don't think I can actually finish this entire thing full of bunker doors. I don't have enough steel for that, so maybe we'll start, I don't know, manufacturing some critters or something. We'll start manufacturing critters. Start incubating their eggs, rather, and getting more of them. That way we can get more eggshells. I think Pakus are the best for that because they have the shortest life cycle. Although I guess it doesn't matter if you incubate the eggs. I don't know. I haven't done enough critter research to really understand that fully. But we did get rid of our telescope because we weren't really using it. I don't remember why I wasn't using it. There was a reason, but I don't remember. I do not remember. But anyway, let's look at our research anyway. What are we at? So I've done the 2 basics for the advanced and the novice. So we just needed the interstellar research. And I don't really remember how do you get that? I looked it up once, but I don't remember. Say tenured scientist. She can use it, but what am I looking for? Data from telescopes and research modules. Maps. Okay, I think I wasn't using this because I didn't have Ellie trained on the I didn't have her trained on the right job, so she couldn't gather interstellar research. So I didn't want to research all the planets without her actually being trained. Catalina mastered the miner job. Okay. What should we put you into next? I guess just building, because you are a builder. There we go. Hassan. What should Hassan be trained in? I don't know that I need him trained in anything else, to be honest. Yeah, I think he's fine just sitting there. Could improve his learning, but I think he's already, yeah, he's got really good skills already. I mean, he mainly digs and builds, so that's pretty dang. How high can these stats go? Does anybody know? Do they go like 999? Is that the cap for him? It might just be 99. I am curious. If anybody knows, you can let me know in the comments how high you can actually get these skills to. Not something I have ever even looked into. But yeah, we're going to be looking into getting more dirt production, which is essentially just going to be a byproduct of natural gas production, I think. Well, not a direct byproduct, but using the natural gas will be. So probably just be doing that. I don't know. Wait, don't petroleums produce polluted water as well? Petroleum generator. Yeah, petroleum generators produce polluted water as well. 750. Oh, they produce a lot more, actually. Huh. So maybe I don't go to natural gas. I know natural gas is better for power-wise. It gives you more power out of it, but these produce a lot more polluted water. I didn't actually look at that before. So 67 grams a second compared to 750 grams a second. That is a huge... Well, they produce less power, though. Yeah, but that's... I don't think it's even close. That's way more polluted water than the natural gas generators. So maybe I'm doing this wrong. Maybe petroleum generators should be my primary power generators, and then natural gas is a backup. I don't know. Next video, you might see these swap places. Actually, I don't know if I'll swap places. I kind of need Weezeworts cooling them down, though. If they just run constantly, I don't think they'll ever get cool. But one thing we can do is just... Let's just add a Weezewort down here, and that's going to be time for this video. Well, I'm sorry it's a little bit early. We're not quite at 100 cycles, but we'll make sure the next one is up to par. Yeah, so for the next video, we're going to be trying to focus maybe on a natural gas build, but after looking at these and seeing the petroleum generator produces more, maybe I won't actually do that. I don't know. I'll have to think about it a little bit. Definitely need to solve that dirt problem, though, and I might alter the greenhouse up there a little bit as well because it's not quite functioning exactly how I want it to. But anyway, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up. If you have any questions, suggestions, or comments, post them in the comments section below. I do have a Discord up currently, but I may or may not be in there. It just kind of depends. So I'll leave that link in the description as well. But like I said, it just depends on what I'm doing, what I have going on. I may or may not be in there. But if you do want to pop in there and see if I'm in there, if you have any questions or anything, you feel free to do that. As long as I'm available, I would love to answer your questions, or just say hi. If you just want to say hello, that's fine too. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.